Hello there, I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777-300ER international flight for Zurich International Airport. We're going to be flying Zurich, Switzerland and Germany, and then coming back to Switzerland and Zurich International Airport, runway 14 for an ILS localizer landing. So right now I'm in the cockpit for the pre-takeoff preparation of the Boeing 777-300ER of the PMDG simulation in Microsoft Flight Simulator X. So I'm going to start showing you the instruments of the cockpit of the Boeing 777-300ER airplane. So I'm gonna start with the primary flight display, show you the airspeed indicator with the airspeed indicated and the ground speed, the target airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the altitude tape with the barometric altitude setting and the target altitude selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft in tens, hundreds and thousands of feet per minute or an trigonometric angle in degrees. We have also the magnetic heading and track. We have the magnetic north pole and the north pole and magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. We also have the radio altitude above the ground level, the pitch ladder in degrees in the altitude indicator and the bank angle in degrees, and also the flight director for manual guidance and the autopilot crossbar for automatic guidance. So we also have the ILS localizer for landing system crossbars. We also have other things like the angle of attack of the aircraft and the flight mode annunciator with the altitude, with the autopilot and flight auto throttle later on vertical navigation mode. We also have the barometric altitude setting in just mercury hectopascals. We also have the navigation display. The navigation display that displays the airports, the waypoints, the terrain, weather, the terrain map reflections from the weather radar. We also have the weather reflections. We have other aircraft flying around us using the transponder. We also have the airports, the waypoints I'm gonna show you, and we have the sea, the lakes, the rivers displayed, all this in the terrain information. We have the GPS position, the magnetic heading and track again, the wind direction and airspeed, and also the ground speed of the aircraft. The next waypoint we're going to be overflying in the RNP and the MP, the acquired navigation performance and the acquired navigation performance. We also have the route of the aircraft. We're going to use the flight plan. Using the flight management computer, we're going to create a flight plan. The aircraft is going to follow in the later on vertical navigation mode. So we also going to have the autopilot and flight director system panel that contains the auto throttle left and right engagement switches. The flight director engages the autopilot engages switches, the airspeed select knob for the airspeed in nautical miles per hour or in Mach speed, depending on the flight level that we're flying. The modes of the auto throttle for the airspeed guidance, like the flight level change, the auto throttle, the speed mode, and the climb continuous thrust. So we have like climb continuous, maximum climb continuous thrust for takeoff and then for climb, and idle thrust for descent, which are fixed thrust modes, and we have variable thrust modes for cruise and for approach and landing. We have the LNAV and the VNAV navigation also from the flight management computer. We have the bank angle limit, hold switch, and the bank and the heading select knob and the heading hold switch. We have the vertical rate of climb and descent of the aircraft in tens, hundreds and thousands of feet per minute on a trigonometric angle in degrees, and the hold switch for this also mode. And we have the altitude select knob and the altitude hold switch and the VOR localizer for an ILS localizer approach, and the approach switch for the auto land function of the aircraft. We also have the upper and the lower ACAS engine indication controller system display that display the information from the engine function using the FAREC, the fuel authority, the electronic control computers. I'm going to show you later, and the thrust levers position for the required thrust. I'm going to show you the radio and communication panel, the overhead panel, that contains the electrical system, the hydraulic, the flight control computers, the ADIRU, the data units, reference unit, hydraulic pumps system, the electronic engine control for the engines, the auto start system for the engines, the left and the right wing fuel tanks and the center tanks, and also the fuel system of the aircraft, and also the wing and engine and the ice, the bleeder from the engines, the cabin pressurization system, and the flight controls of the aircraft, the yoke that contains control column and control wheel, and also the rudder pedals and the steering, the pillars for the nose wheel. So I will show you all this system. I will show the primary flight display, then I'm gonna make an engine shutdown and auto start before taking off for flying the aircraft. So thank you very much one more time for watching. I'm Thomas Hatsios, British American pilot flying the Boeing 737-300ER into night flight. So I'm gonna start now with the ongoing systems of the aircraft. So you can see here we have the airspeed tape, the airspeed indicated, the ground speed, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the barometric altitude above the sea level, the radio altitude, the barometric pressure setting, the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft, the pitch ladder in degrees and the bank angle in degrees, and the altitude indicators. You can see 2.5 degrees tick marks. We have the flight mode annunciator with the takeoff ground mode. That contains also the autopilot and auto throttle. Later on, vertical navigation modes, the magnetic heading and track here. So you can see the magnetic heading over here, selected from the autopilot panel. Over here, all these values. This is 200 knots, 360 the heading, and 10,000 feet the altitude. We can change all these values. So you have also the navigation display. I will show you later the flight plan. You can see the terrain levels. It displays this is the mountains, here the Switzerland, all these airports. Here's the France, and here's Germany in the north. So you can see the terrain level 6,100 feet maximum right now with red, and 0 feet with green, and intermediate with yellow. We have the mountains here, the distance 160, 320 nautical miles, the rings, and the heading, magnetic heading. We have also the required navigation performance, and the GPS reference. So I'm gonna use this computer later, the flight management computer, to create a flight plan for flying the aircraft. So you can see the ADIRU here, the air data inertial reference unit. If I'm gonna come in another view, I will show you. We have this display over here, the cockpit, the overhead panel again. So you'll see the ADIRU here, the air data inertial reference unit. So this displays all this air data information and the GPS position, the air data control computer, and the IRS system, the inertial reference system for the gyroscopic laser gyroscopes, for the gyroscopic acceleration, the deceleration of the aircraft, and also the magnetic heading, the track, barometric pressure, altitude, and airspeed, and also other information, GPS map. So we have the GPS receivers, all this control from this small switch in the overhead panel over here, the ADIRU. So if we turn off this, then we have to make an alignment. So you can see here we have the same controls like in the other side of the aircraft. So you can see the panels here, maybe in a better view, like the autopilot panel. A more clear view. You can see the Boeing 777, the mark of the airplane. You can see here we have the disconnect switch, this switch. This here is the speed brakes. You can use the thrust levers, you will see the thrust increase like this into a new value. So we can also use the speed brakes. So you can see also we have some circuit breakers here for maintenance, and this over here some other switches like controls hydraulic power. This also in the normal and the alternate. This for maintenance. All these systems. So I will show you later all these systems here. I will come to the overhead panel here. So I will concentrate that. I will go with the autopilot panel section. So I will show you the values here. You can see we have the auto throttle, the left and the right, engage and disengage, the flight director also. This is also the pressurized, you can change the value and cancel it later. We have the indicated airspeed or Mach, the LNAV, the VNAV, all these values here. I'll show you also this, the bank angle limit here of the aircraft. So you can depressurize this, change the value. Also this, select a heading or track over here. So you have various modes, heading track, hold also, you can hold, select two modes simultaneously or either one. Altitude or flight level change, so you can change like 35,300, and this also the pressurized, this also select the values. So now you have these modes here for the primary flight display. As you can see, flight level change, speed, and the route data. So we have all the information needed for the aircraft right now. So we go back inside. I will show you the thrust levers maybe. So I'll show you a little bit more about the autopilot. You can see also some other modes. You can select the altitude hold instead. So you have the altitude with the flight director, and you can select also the autopilot on. You can select autopilot off like this. You can see the green button here. Now the autopilot is on. So you see the AP here displayed with the track hold and the altitude. So we change back heading hold and altitude. And we can change again flight level change instead of the altitude. And I can change a couple more modes. I will show you. Vertical speed, flight path angle. So we have the flight path angle like this. Descend with the minus, climb with the plus, like 3.5 degrees. Descend and climb. So you will see the 3.5 degrees tick mark here in the pitch ladder for climb. Otherwise, if you use the vertical speed in tens, hundreds, and thousands feet per minute, you will see again the slider down for descend or climb. So you will use this again. You can see the vertical speed again, VS. So you have the tick mark here with the 3,500. You have also the VNAV and the LNAV. The climb continues. Flight level change again. it comes to this. You can come here, we have the roll log and the approach. So we can cancel this, the autopilot like this. Press this switch here, will cancel the autopilot. You will see the warning, and the autopilot is disconnect. And you need to press one more time to confirm disconnect action. If you want to reset again, come over here, autopilot disconnect. You will see the warning. Cancel the warning, reset the autopilot on, autopilot disconnect like this. So we have again the autopilot disconnect here in the upper ACAS. So we reset again, but we don't need now the autopilot. I will show you later. I will come to the thrust levers now after a second. So I will start explaining about the thrust levers function. So the thrust levers give a signal to the FAREX. The FAREX are the full authority electronic control computers, one installed per engine. We have two engines installed in this aircraft, one in the left wing, one in the right wing, for redundancy and for symmetric thrust. So each FAREX has is installed in its turbofan turbojet engine. It's a dual channel digital electronic control computer, full authority digital electronic control computer that controls and monitors and displays all the information that is in the upper ACAS engine indication controller system and the lower ACAS engine indication controller system, like the N1, which is the low speed, low pressure compressor and turbine and shaft of the turbofan turbojet engine, the exhaust gas temperature, the N2, which is the high speed, high pressure compressor and turbine and shaft of the turbofan turbojet engine, the fuel flow per engine per hour in thousands of kilograms or thousands of pounds, the oil pressure, oil quantity and oil temperature, and also the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine. It also controls and monitors the outflow valves from the 5th and the 9th stage of the blades of the shaft, like the high pressure compressor, and also regulates the outflow valve's position. So we have an overpressure inside the engine. It opens the outflow valve to relieve the overpressure. We have a lower pressure, it closes the outflow valve, so it increases the pressure inside the turbofan turbojet engine. So it also, this way it optimizes as we climb. Understand we need different air fuel mixtures as we have different air pressure and rate of intake of the air mass as the aircraft flies in higher speed also. So it optimizes the fuel burn of the aircraft and the fuel mixture, and also the status of and redundancy of the engine. So it also controls and monitors the engine start, engine shutdown, engine failure. So it's a good thing to have the FAREX, the full authority electronic control computers in your turbofan turbojet engine. Inside the gearbox, they are also self-contained in terms of electrical power. Redundancy have their own electrical alternator for producing their own electric current, so when the engine is working. So I'll show you what the FAREX can do. Also the thrust levers, the auto throttle system, they're all interconnected, so you can have this speed guidance of the aircraft in flight. You can use it with the autopilot on manually. So I will show you now what the thrust levers can do. Later I will explain you a little bit about the flight theory of the aircraft and the flight controls, and then make the engine start demonstration and fly the aircraft. So you can see here we have the FAREX. You can see the upper and the lower ACAS engine indication controller system. So we have the N1, which is the low speed, low pressure compressor and turbine and shaft of the turbofan turbojet engine. The exhaust gas diameter, the green, yellow, and red markings, the duct pressure, the outflow pressure from the engines, the total fuel. This is different information. The flap settings, some warnings here. So this is not related to the engine. We have the N2, which is a high speed, high pressure compressor and turbine and shaft of the engine. The fuel flow per engine per hour in thousands of pounds. Right now, the oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, and the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine. So you can see the thrust levers here. If I move them forward, I will request a new value for the throttle. For the thrust, I can request the takeoff ground. You can see the difference here between the required and the actual thrust. Takes some time, so the speed brakes extend automatically. We have the auto throttle disconnect here. This switch, we have the takeoff go around. This switch returns the takeoff go around. So we disarm this and then move on. Also, we have the thrust reverse here. This switch here is handle lock. So this way you hold it back and you get the reverse. So the reverser will slow down the aircraft after landing. So you can see the reverse blocker doors. So I will cancel the reverse. I will use it again. You will see the blocker doors here open and reverse the flow of the turbofan engine. So again, cancel it and redeploy the thrust reverse. So this is so much about the thrust reverse. So we'll talk to you now a little bit about we have this aircraft, the Boeing 777-300ER. We have 254,000 kilograms of takeoff weight, which is below the maximum takeoff weight. We have only 30% of fuel on board, about 102,000 pounds or 46,000 kilograms. So our takeoff weight is 531,000 pounds or 246,000 kilograms, and we have 30,000 kilograms of passenger and cargo, about 46,000 pounds. So all in all, total 246,000 kilograms below the takeoff maximum weight. So we need with this configuration in the runway, is gonna need takeoff thrust, full takeoff thrust, and 15 degrees of flaps and about 4 degrees of horizontal tail stabilizer. We're gonna need to accelerate to an airspeed of about 154 nautical miles per hour, 154 knots or 270 kilometers an hour. So we need to overcome the stall speed. The stall speed is going to make the wings of the aircraft too slow to provide even angle of attack. And also we need to have an effective lift component. So the airstream, the airflow around the wings of the aircraft needs to be at about 154 nautical miles per hour, 270 knots. So then we're gonna have the effective lift. The lift is the force that overcomes the weight of the aircraft. The weight of the aircraft is the mass of the aircraft times the acceleration of the gravity. And also this stall speed is gonna make the aircraft fall in the ground. So we need to overcome this stall speed and have this lift force effective from the wing. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the flight theory. These are newtons per second inside law of kinematics and motion, and also the physics of Newton's and the Bernoulli theory and aeronautical and aerospace engineering. So some principles about the flight theory of the Boeing 777-300ER airplane. How the wings generate the lift, and how the stall and other factors, how we turn using the flight control, so how we climb the descent using the flight controls, again the horizontal tail, the vertical tail, the ailerons, and the flaperons and the spoilers. So I'm going to show you the flight control system using the manual guidance using the yoke of the Boeing 777. I'll use the side view. So I'll talk to you about the Newton's physics and Bernoulli theory and Aristotle. Now I'll show you the side view here. You can see the aircraft, where is it positioned. So you can see the aircraft wings hold the weight of the aircraft in total. So you can use some equations. You can see the symmetric thrust from the engines, which are installed, one in the left and one in the right wing. So we have the vectors, we have the intake of the airflow here from the front fans, the compression and the exhaust from the exhaust of the turbo fans to the engine. So this creates the thrust vector that moves the aircraft forward. So the thrust overcomes the drag and the lift overcomes the weight. So we have the four forces of flight. The thrust overcomes the skin friction and drag, and also the lift from the wings overcomes the weight that is equal to the mass of the aircraft times the acceleration of the Earth's gravity. So also the wings, you can see here, we have the mean aerodynamic chord position, which is about 25% of the Mach for an aircraft airliner. It's the position of the maximum aerodynamic pressure created, and also the position where the stall begins, where the airflow detaches from the wing. So you can see the thrust moves the aircraft forward only, doesn't move it upward, because it's not a fighter jet. So the mean aerodynamic core position is also the position with the center of gravity vector. We have many vectors, one from the nose to the tail and one from the center of gravity, one from the wing to the wing. So this vector, the center of gravity, you can position it here where is the mean aerodynamic chord, the Mach, 25% of the Mach. So you can shift the center of gravity forward or half, depending of by shifting fuel and passengers and cargo inside the aircraft. So this makes the aircraft more or less stable in flight. So you can use also, you can see the wings. The bottom surface of the wings is more flat. So I'm gonna use the Newton's and Bernoulli theory now. So the airflow of the air mass from the leading edge to the trailing edge is moving slower below the wing. So you have higher air pressure below the wing. So you need more slower airspeed and higher air pressure below the wing. So the top surface of the wings has a higher curvature. So you can see the airflow of the air mass when we reach the takeoff speed 270 km an hour. It's gonna move faster than below the wing. So you have lesser pressure above the wing. So you have an air suction above the wing. So this creates a differential pressure. You have positive pressure below the wing and negative pressure above the wing. So this creates the lift force and also the stall. So this is a little bit more explanation. Now I'm gonna use the moment arm to show you the elevator and the rudder and the elements of the pattern. So you can see here we have the moment arm is times the distance from the center of gravity all the way down to the horizontal tail, all the ailerons and the spoilers, over the surface area of the horizontal and the vertical tail, all the elevator, all of the rudder. So you need the surface area of a control surface. So you have the distance from the center of gravity all the way back to its horizontal tail over the surface area of the tail times the airflow of the air mass as the air comes from the front to the back as the aircraft flies, times the acceleration of gravity times the airflow per second. So you have the force here being applied, the moment arm, the lever arm force, which acts as a lever through the center of gravity to the forward wing, to the forward arm also. So you can climb, you can descend using this force. You can pitch up and pitch down. You can also make this force here in the vertical tail, so you can turn the aircraft left or right, and also in the ailerons and the spoilers and the flatterings using this vector, so you make the aircraft bank roll. So you can hold this also in flight. So this was a little bit about the flight theory of the Boeing 777-300ER. Now I'm gonna come inside and show you the flight controls. that I'm using for all these forces in flight, alongside in conjunction with the engine thrust levers that make the aircraft, the aircraft, give it propulsion forward, and kinetic energy forward. That is equivalent to 1 second of the mass of the aircraft times times the earth speed to the power of 2. So we go inside. So you will see now we have here the flight control system. We have the yoke, and also we have the rudder pedals here. So we have also the horizontal tail trim here, the stabilizer of the aircraft, the horizontal tail trim. So the horizontal tail trim, you can see used for stability, increase or decrease the angle of attack of the horizontal tail. You can see the up and down position here. This is the lever you use for normal or alternate. You have two levers here. This is the speed brakes, so you can position. If you have a failure in the CODR hydraulic system, you can disconnect the auto trim from the autopilot and flight direct and auto throttle system. So you use also this for manual trimming. The horizontal tail, you use also the aileron. This is the autopilot disconnect, and you have here a couple more switches. The rudder trim, you can see the rudder trim here in the aileron trim. We don't use too much the aileron and the rudder, so I'm gonna use also the flaps up now. Maybe up and down, you can see. Also layer. How to use that and the display of that. Flaps and slats are secondary flight controls. So I'm gonna show you now the flight controls. So we have about 30 or 30 minutes more about this flight. So I'm gonna show you now the flight controls. You can see I'm having the side stick here. I'm using for this simulation the Lszh Extreme 3D in my computer, so I can have the deflection of the flight controls proportional to my side stick and control the aircraft direction in flight, have directional control and stability. So you can see here we have this. So you can see the side stick I'm using, the Lszh Extreme 3D, for controlling over here the flight controls here inside the airplane. So I can bank roll left, I can bank roll either way, I can bank roll right, I can bank roll left, I can climb up and climb down. So you can see the free movement of the flight controls over there in the display. But I'm using this side stick for flying the airplane. So you can see it's proportional deflection to the side stick deflection of the yoke, the control column and control wheel. We have the elevator here up and down, climb and descend, and the spoilers and the ailerons left and right, and also the rudder pedal left and right. And we have these for the nose wheel steering and ground, this tiller it's for the nose wheel only. So use it and I'll leave it for takeoff. So you can see the other side also, the first officer and the captain both working simultaneously. We have simultaneous input. So I will show you now the outside view of the same flight controls, but use them for controlling the aircraft in flight. So you can see here we have again the same kind of flight control system. So I will show you have the flight control system from the outside view again. So you will see the flight controls here again. And I'm using this Lszh Extreme 3D side stick for controlling the flight controls of the airplane. You can bunker left and bunker right, hold neutral, pitch up and pitch down, hold neutral, use the horizontal tail stabilizer trim and the thrust levers here. So you can see here we have all the flight controls, movement proportional to the side stick deflection. So you can use also that like in the Airbus. I'm moving all the flight controls, and also I'll show you the thrust levers here that I'm using for the engine. Also in the side stick. So I will come now in the overhead panel, show you a little bit about the information of the overhead panel. So we have the left and the right engine that produce the thrust. Also move in the gearbox. We have installed the IDG, the discrete drive generator. That is an electromagnetic alternator. By using electromagnetic induction principles, it rotates the electromagnetic inductor that produces 120 to 200 volts of alternate current, 400 Hz constant frequency, 120,000 kilovolts or 120,000 watts left and right edging. We have the IDC that produces the electric power for the aircraft, and also the backup generators, another 35,000 kilovolts, and the APU another 130,000 kilovolts of alternate current. So you can convert the alternate current transformer into directly the transformer rectifier. And also I'm going to show you now in the overhead panel. We have the battery that has direct current 28 volts, 48 ampere hours. You can convert it into alternate current using the static inverters. We also have the hydraulic pumps that also are being controlled by the engine movement, and also are being pressurized from the engine bleed air, pressurized air from the engine or the APU. So I'm going to show you how to start the APU and then start the engine. I'm going to show you the fuel system. So we have many systems in the overhead panel for all the aircraft systems, and also for starting the engine. So I'm gonna show you how to do also that. So stay with me one more time. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777 in tonight flight. So thank you again for watching me. We have like a few more minutes for this flight. So I'll go in the overhead panel. You can see here we have again the view here. We have the flaps. I'm gonna use the flaps up now. Over here in the 15 degrees, so you'll see the flap hold here. The display 15 degrees and 5 degrees. So you can see again we have the same principle. We have the horizontal tail, the cutout switches here. We have the fuel control to the engines. You can see the fuel control. I'll show you later these valves. For the left and right engine, we have the parking brakes set up and down, the speed brakes also set. The radio communication panel, the weather radar, the transporter, I will show you later, the flight management computer left and right. Here you have all this information again, like as you can see we have a more clear view of everything here from this side. So I will show you how to control the aircraft inside. I will show you have the left and the right engine, the IDG I told you. So perhaps we're gonna start this now. The APU, we have the battery here, the APU battery, the left and the right engine, integrated drive generators, the primary flight control computers, the thrust symmetry, compensator. You can see we can turn on and off the switches here in the auto. Also the ADIRU. We have the window heat here, the passenger oxygen, the ram air turbine, the hydraulics. So we can turn off the hydraulics. You will see some indications will come into a warning. So this is the left and the right engine, the electrical. This is all the electrical, this hydraulic system. So you will see the faults coming up over here. We turn off the hydraulic pumps and the backup hydraulics, so you will gonna lose some flight control. We have the flaps in the alternate mode. So you will feel the warnings coming up. Over here also this warning. So we'll keep going down more systems. The auto throttle loss, the autopilot maybe. So this is how many systems are being affected by the hydraulic. This is also the air pressurized hydraulic. So we'll turn on again and then switch to the auto. So this will gonna cancel this warning. When I use the engine driving and the electric to back up C1 and C2 electric hydraulics for the Boeing 777. I'm gonna show you also here we have the engine driving electric power. I'm gonna turn off right now in the backup generator. We have the APU on right now. So this is gonna give this warning, the electric generator and the backup generator is off, but everything is working fine in terms of electricity. So we turn on again. We have some other systems, lighting systems here inside and outside, the windshield wipers left and right. This is the cargo fire and the APU fire, electronic engine control for the engine, normal and alternate, the auto start system. You can set the auto start on and off like this switch here. So we set in the normal. I'm gonna use later for starting the engine. We have this for dumping fuel in flight. Select how much fuel to keep and the nozzle we activate. So we'll be disarm this. We have the fuel system left and right wing and center tank. I will show you later in the screen, in the display. So you can see this is empty. So it has this message the press. We have the wing and engine RDIs on and off. Like this, leaving the auto, and here is the bleeder, the outflow air bleeder from left and right engine, and the APU. We use the APU very important for starting the engine. Also the wing, left wing, right wing engine for cabin pressurization here, wing and engine RDIs. For the hydraulic fluid pressurization over here, this is one figure, and also for air conditioning here and ventilation. So you will see if I turn off all the systems, the bleeder. So we'll see now. We're gonna lose some systems here. Over here in the display. You will see the dark pressure decreasing here, and also some other systems coming up from the bleeder. Off engine right, off hydraulic pressure C1 and C2. So I will reconnect this. I will show you also the APU we need for starting the engine. We have the cabin pressurization here, automatic, manual, so we can climb and then we can descend by opening and closing the outflow valves and select the landing altitude. This is the cabin pressurization. We leave in the auto. So this is the general overview. Now I'm gonna make the engine start demonstration, but before a couple of seconds I will show you here the CDU display. So we have the Boeing 777 again. We have it on display. So we have 13 plus settings. So we have the engine here, the status. You can see the APU has started. We have the APU running, the hydraulic pressures here, and the oxygen. The checklist, what we need to do before starting the engine's other items also. The checklist is complete. Go to the non-normal if we have a failure. So the communications also, the navigation, synoptics again, the door. You can see the doors of the Boeing 777 are closed and the cabin is pressurized. The landing gear, you can see the pressure inside the tires and nozzle and the temperature of the brake. The electric system, left engine drive alternator, right engine APU, also the bus type, contactors, the backup generators, and the voltage from the battery. So this is the main electrical overview of the aircraft. With the batteries also charged and discharged. We also have the hydraulic, very important, left and right engine. C1 and C2, the air pressurized. You can see it receives pressure from the bleed air from the engines, and the flight control flaps. All the systems that use hydraulic pressure, and the pressure 3000 psi from its left and right engine, and from the backup. The backup electric. So we have also the fuel inside the Boeing 777. The left and the right wing tank, the forward and the aft pumps, the center tank is empty, so you can see the total fuel quantity here, below the high pressure fuel valves from the left and right wing, all the center and the crossfeed are shown, and the APU also receives from the left. You can see the minimum fuel temperature here, minus 37. So we go on the air system, left and right engine here, the pressurizer from the left and right engine, system 9 stage, and the APU also we're gonna use for starting the engine. So you can see again the hydraulic C1 and C2 connection, and the air conditioning, wing and engine got the other system. Cabin pressurization also, so you will see the engine symbol here is the engine starter. It will receive pressure from the APU to turn off the engine. So if I increase the engine thrust now, move forward this, you'll see the duct pressure increase rapidly in the left and right engine. So if I turn off, decrease the throttle, it will also decrease the airflow pressure. So I will select now the flight control system. You can see I can extend the speed brakes, it will extend the speed brakes. So all the flight controls are working normally, there is no failure. You have movement, also you can see the horizontal tail stabilizer position in degrees and the rudder same position. Everything is normal and working. The vertical tail also, the rudder. So you can see I'm using this. I have the movement of the flight controls over here. Also the rudder pedals, also the other side is moving freely and conveniently. So this is all in all. For the systems of the Boeing 777, now I'll go in the modes again, in the engines. So we have the virtual cockpit again. So now we'll show you the engine start demonstration. Thank you very much again for watching. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777. So we have a couple more minutes left. So we'll turn off the fuel flow, left and right engine here. So you will see we have the engine shutdown message here. The N1 decreases, the exhaust gas temperature decreases, the message engine shutdown. Fuel flow is 0, duct pressure also decreases, and the N2. So we also have the overhead panels here. You will see some reconfiguration, and we also some electric power from the aircraft. So you will see here the engines are slowing down. The spinner is slowing down. So come over here and connect the left and the right engine auto start system. So this is gonna start the engines. The N1, the exhaust gas temperature, the fuel flow also is 0. So above 30% we can start the engine. We have enough pressurizer, as you can see in the spinners. So we only need to start the fuel flow here, fuel run. The N1 increases above 80%, exhaust gas temperatures, N2. So we have the engine start now, fully start. Here we go, both engines, both wings. So we need to make one last step, ready for takeoff, only taxi in flight. So one last step. Initialize fixed legs, the FNC position initialize, Lszh V8 Vic. So we have zero fuel weight reserves. I'm gonna set 5% reserves. Flight level is set 35,300 from the autopilot. Minimum fuel temperature route from this airport Lszh V8. Lszh V8 to this airport Lszh V8. Runway 14. The legs, and we have the departure from runway 14. Transit. Also the arrival. Lszh 14. Transnegria 1 Alpha, Transamity. So we have the legs, deactivate and activate the flight plan. We have only the takeoff performance here. 15 degrees of flap, center of gravity with trim, and the takeoff speeds are set 130, 140 and 154 for this runway in this gross weight. So we have the legs activated. So we have the full flight plan. You only need is to deactivate the parking brakes and advance the thrust levers a little bit and use the tiller here for the nose wheel steering for taxiing into the runway. So you will see the flight plan in a couple of seconds. Decrease the thrust now. We don't need so much thrust, so the runway is open for us as we taxi. We have like 18 more minutes left for this flight. So we're gonna come here. So we are aligned. Parking brake set again, so you can see where we are right now. Our position here into the runway. We are just ready for the takeoff. Runway 14 in Zurich International Airport. I'm gonna set this view now for showing you the takeoff roll. So we have how many minutes? Cool. So we have enough time, like 18 more minutes left. I'm gonna set the LNAV here. We have the flaps at 15 degrees, the takeoff center of gravity here. So I will advance the thrust levers, or I can use the toga button, the takeoff ground button. So I will use 40 degrees here. You will see the flight plan. I'm gonna fly, and the information is set here. So I can use the takeoff ground switch like this. It will set automatically the auto throttle, and we go disarm the parking brakes and go. So it sets the thrust automatically. 80 knots, 90 knots, 180 kilometers an hour right now. 133 knots, V1, V-rotate. Here we go, V-rotate. We have the positive rate climb right now. So the aircraft climbs positively. We are 400 feet above the ground, 2,000 feet above the sea level. The airspeed 230 knots, 287, and we climb with about 6,000 feet per minute. You can see the rate of climb here at this stage. So we retract the landing gear also over here and decrease the rate of climb a little bit. So I will use the other manual now. So we are 5,000 feet above the ground. You can start training now. And use maximum takeoff power for the climb out. 5.8. We have 18 more minutes left for this flight. 5,000, 6,000 feet. You can see we're gonna follow this runway here. This is the turn. We climb with fixed trim of about 30 degrees. You can see the stall speed here. This marks the red and yellow. We have to avoid. This will make the aircraft fall into the ground. So we keep turning. We're gonna have the runway now. After 10, level off a little bit and pitch down the aircraft here using this the pitch strength here. We don't need to climb so steeply. This is a general overview here. I will show you the outside view as we keep climbing past the airport. We're gonna be overflying close to Germany. So make a turn now, a left turn. You will see a nice view here of the Boeing 777. So we keep climbing like this. So we have a nice view here, the Galaxy. So this spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777-300ER. We're going to be overflying the airport here. You can see nice views of Zurich and also the airport, the aircraft. So we're going back inside. Have to make a turn now. Again, have to keep climbing. And we have 16 minutes left for this flight. So we're gonna turn now into the next waypoint. As you can see, we have the maximum takeoff class. You can see the climb is positive here. We keep climbing. This needle is going up above this middle line here. We are 16,000 feet, max 0.47, 5 or 600 kilometers an hour. The airspeed. So keep climbing. Align a little bit. So here we are for the climb bar. Using thrust, manual thrust and manually put to the flight control. So we'll set this flight management computer here. The next waypoint here. I'm gonna follow. It's up a little bit. So picks up a little bit. We have also the rate of climb 1900 feet per minute, airspeed 600 kilometers an hour, 31,000 feet. So the airport in front of us, the Bayern Munich, is gonna be overflying Germany here. So we keep climbing. You can see we have the Switzerland here, Switzerland. So we have this beautiful scenery that I love flying over, and this beautiful skies. So keep climbing to 2,600 kilometers an hour, Mach 0.517 or 250 meters per second. 32,000 feet. This is our next waypoint over here, the Nigra. You can see 33,100. So we have now the chemtrails, so you can see chemtrails. So this is our spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777. As you can see, we fly with about 600 kilometers an hour or 250 meters per second, about 34,000 feet above the sea level. We can hold level with manual So we go forward into the Germany by Munich and overflying the St. Gallen Lake here in Switzerland. So this is our spacecraft at night, the Boeing 777-300ER cruising the galaxy above the Earth. You can see how beautiful the star sign is. So we almost reached 25,000 feet. You can see the Swiss Alps on this side. So we level off. We reached 25,000. We also need to retract the flaps here now. And the other throttle we retract the throttle automatically. So we start the bang roll. We're going back into the airport now and increase the airspeed here. 335. We are level now, level off manually, and keep going with the Germany behind, and we have to level off here to the 5,000 feet. We're gonna increase the airspeed to max 0.77 or 900 kilometers an hour, 300 meters a second. How to make this bank roll here manually. You can see we full level manually here to the 5,000 feet with max 0.6 right now. Just kicks up a little bit, kicks in a little bit. So this is the manual turn, overflying Switzerland. I'll need to trim down a little bit. So this is Germany on this side, the Bayern Munich, and this beautiful view of the airplane with the Boeing 777-300ER. Hope you like it. We fly with 900 kilometers an hour right now, or about 300 meters per second. So this is the spacecraft at the Boeing 777-300ER, 900 kilometers an hour, flying the St. Gallen Lake and the Swiss Alps. In Switzerland, going back in our airport right now. So we're gonna change the vectors, come here, keep flying manually. We can also engage the autopilot now for doing a couple more things. Also the altitude, the flight level change. So we're gonna have the autopilot here engaged with these modes, and you can see we turn into the airport now, this direction. We have this waypoint, the Amity over here. The distance to this waypoint you can see 5.5. You can see we are descending into the flight altitude. So we have a few more minutes left to go. We need to use this waypoint execute. So we're gonna be flying straight into this waypoint and start descent in a couple of seconds. It's only a couple of seconds. So now we're flying manually with the autopilot, automatically, excuse me, with the autopilot right now. We connect with the autopilot to the spacecraft at the Boeing 777. You can see how stable it is with the autopilot. 35,000 feet. We need to start descent right now. So I would say the descent path like 6,000 feet, and the airspeed a little bit decreased for descent, and this is the flight level change, and maybe the vertical speed also we can set like minus 1.5. So this is gonna be done automatically. We have started already descending over here, automatically using the AP, the autopilot connected here to the 4,000 feet. Decrease the airspeed maybe a little bit more. And also the rate of descent. We keep descending. So we keep coming the center. Yes. It's still 33,000 feet above the Earth. So these are spacecraft, this airplane, the Boeing 777, this runway. So we keep approaching the airport. And we have 8 more minutes left for this flight. We keep approach. Also need to set the approach here speed for landing and the flap setting. The approach reference 154 knots. Okay. Also increase here the range. You can see better with the sun, the profile 19,000 feet. So I'm gonna set also the vol localizer in a couple of seconds. I'm gonna have it ready. So we have the vol loc, the Lszh localizer here, reference DME. As you can see here on the reference for approach. So I will disengage the autopilot in a couple of minutes. As we descend, you can see the airport here. Same as this vector here is the GPS position. And we have the terrain now in some, maybe sunny clouds. We have the terrain in green below us. So keep descending, you can see the overview of the aircraft now. The thrust being applied over here for approach to the sun actually. So we are 15,000 feet. 15,000 feet, we are much closer into the airport. Then one more time as we're descending, and we have maybe like 7 more minutes left. So we landing gear is down now, and also flaps down. And we disarm the autopilot disconnected. So we keep descending. Also the airspeed less, this airspeed here, target airspeed here in the airport. So we're gonna keep descending like this. So we have 5 more minutes left for this flight as we are descending past 12,000 feet. We need to come closer now and increase the rate of descent, make up steep jump here. $11,000 feet. Keep descending. 10,000 feet. We have the flaps full here and we use all the manual input for the descent path. 10,000 feet. 9,000. So we're gonna make it, I believe, 6,000 feet. 7,400, 300. So we're gonna be about it's up a little bit to slow down. 6,000 feet. Oh, we have the airport in front of us. So we have the river, the airport in front of us. So we have like 5 more minutes left for this flight actually. So we keep coming down. We cross the Lszh localizer. You're gonna see the information. We need to be aligned. We are a little bit higher than the Lszh right now. So we need to descend a little bit more. We have the runway here, align with the runway manually. And use full rudder for this alignment. Over here. So here we go. 4,000 feet. We have the outside view of where we are right now, where we're going into the runway. So maybe use a more closer view over here as we're gonna touch down. So we are 3,500 above the runway. Use manual thrust again, a bit more. You can use manual thrust as much as we wish. So we have the runway in front of us. Need to align with the Lszh localizer over here. So you can see we are aligned now, aligned with the center line, using the rudder pedal also and the control wheel here. So you can see all the Lszh localizer information here. We only need that steer a little bit to the right. We have the horizontal and the vertical glide slope. The horizontal localizer, we are on 1,200 feet above the ground, 176 airspeed, and descending with 2,000 feet per minute. I'm gonna decrease the descent rate just before in the flare, just before the touchdown. So we are 1,000 feet above the ground. Keep descending with manual thrust and automatic. Rudder pedals now, rudder pedal left, and steering a little bit to the left, steering now the opposite way to keep it center as much as we can. And also with the glide slope, a little bit lower glide slope. Here we are. "200 feet. We're gonna flare in a couple of seconds. We have 174 Hatsios. Sync rate 50-10. Here we are, touchdown. Touchdown, parking brakes, and reverse thrust. We're gonna use full reverse thrust now. So we touched down the center line, slowing down 80 knots, 60 knots, and we just made it in a beautiful touchdown and landing here in the Zurich International Airport. We just made it. You can see here we are. So you can see we have the nose wheel here of the aircraft and the landing gear. You can see we have the tires of the airplane in snow blown up, and also the landing gear, the nose wheel part, and the landing gear here, the parts of the wheels. Nothing is broken, just like some other people are doing during the touchdown and landing. So we made a beautiful landing here in terms of the redundancy of the aircraft part. You can see we can use the aircraft again. Everything is up in piece as it should be. So we made a smooth landing, smooth rate of descent. So you can see the nose wheel here. This part, this scoop is pretty much in every part of the aircraft. So we can take off, climb again, use it for a second flight, and we have plenty of runway for slowing down here the aircraft and for taxiing. You can see also the systems with the family class, the reverse. You can see there is no failure inside the airplane or the overhead panel. Everything is working the way it should be. So